What's up, guys? This is the Osmo.com night shift talking baseball for May 17th. We've got a 9-game slate to talk about. This is Jake Hari, as usual, doing the night shift. You can find me on the MLB strategy video and the live stream Tuesday and Thursday. Get to Osmo.com, check out all of our premium content. You get access to Osmo's rankings himself, one of the top DFS players in the entire world. So you get rankings straight from him, ownership projections for the slate in general for tournaments, and then a lot of other good videos and interviews with Osmo himself. So it is well worth the premium membership. A lot of you have signed up. I know a lot of you are enjoying the content, and we hope to get more of you. So let's talk about this 9-game slate. Gonna go through very quickly. A few weather concerns, but nothing seems major right now, besides maybe the Atlanta game, but long way away from lock, so won't worry about that too much right now. San Diego at Pittsburgh. We've got Eric Lauer going up against Chad Kuhl. Lauer is getting lit up by righties, 225 whip, 514 xFIP, 51% hard contact. The problem is, and I say this all the time when the Pirates face a lefty, is they don't really have any good righty power bats. So I want to use Pirates here, but I mean, maybe Josh Bell. I'm kind of down on Starlin Marte for 4,900 if he's even going to be in the lineup. So I'm not really crazy about these targets, but targeting these Pirates bats against Eric Lauer. Chad Kuhl for 8,200 against the Padres. We may see some Chad Kuhl chalk. It's no doubt a very good matchup, and he's put together a couple of nice starts in a row. I don't like the idea of playing Chad Kuhl chalk, so I hope he's not super owned, but he is a -165 favorite right now. He'll definitely get some ownership. It's just going to be a matter of, is he going to be 25%? Is he going to be 40%? Then I'm starting to think about a fade. He is still a volatile pitcher, so Kuhl definitely on my radar. Not a guy I want to go in or all in with just yet, but certainly a guy I'm going to consider. Might find himself in the spotlight pitchers. The bats against Kuhl, I think Franchy Cordero is a guy I like to target a lot. He's 3,700. Just hits the ball so hard when he hits it, and Kuhl is not a guy that's mistake free. He could certainly make a mistake to Cordero. Oakland and Toronto, Andrew Triggs versus Aaron Sanchez. I've got some interest in Triggs here for 6,800. That's a really good price, despite this 5 total for the Blue Jays. Triggs has strikeout stuff to have a good start here, and the Blue Jays are a pretty good matchup against righties so far this year. Triggs doesn't give up. I mean, he does give up some hard hits. I could see going to Granderson. I could see going to Smoke, but I'm not really on these Toronto bats despite the 5 total. Maybe I'm missing something here with Triggs, but I'm more likely to look at Triggs for 6,800 than to play a bunch of these Blue Jays bats. And I think that might be a little bit of a contrarian play just because of that run total. Sanchez on the other side, I don't have interest in, just not missing enough bats for me. He's good at not getting blown up. If you just look at his game logs, I think the most earned runs he's allowed this year is 4. Usually goes 5-6 innings. Doesn't do anything too crazy. So he just doesn't give up a lot of hard hits, and not a guy I love targeting against. So I do like Lowry and Olsen. Olsen's been super unlucky lately, and I think he's going to turn it around here pretty soon against a righty, Aaron Sanchez, where Olsen's only 3,600. That's a guy that I'm for sure going to be targeting on this slate. Baltimore against Boston. There are some weather concerns here, although nothing too major, so I'm not worried about this game not playing or anything. We've got Kevin Gausman going up against David Price. I'm not playing Gausman here against the Red Sox. It's not like Cahill yesterday. He doesn't have that good of stuff as Cahill. It's just an awful matchup against the Red Sox, and it's a big enough slate where I don't think you have to get that cute with Gausman, especially not at 7,900. So no Gausman for me. I think you can go to a Red Sox stack if the weather keeps up. I don't want a full stack against Gausman. I do think he's a pretty good pitcher. He could be very, very good at times. I'd actually prefer the righties here. So Mookie Betts, Ramirez, JD Martinez, and Xander Bogaerts. So those are 4 guys I just listed off that I like. Mostly Betts and JD, but those guys would be the ones that I would stack. David Price on the other side. I don't think I can even play him for 8,400 against the lowly Orioles. They're a team that I love targeting, but if there's going to be some weather and Price is Price, like, he just gets overplayed in my opinion. I just don't really want to play him. The Orioles are getting healthy too, so I'm going to pass on Price. Orioles bats that I like are Machado and Scope. Philadelphia against the Cardinals. We've got Vince Velasquez for 7,300 against Luke Weaver. Velasquez has done a really good job against righties this year, and the Cardinals lineup is full of righties, so they usually roll out 5, 6, 7 righties sometimes if Bader finds his way in there. Against righties this year, Velasquez has a 31% K rate, 18.2% hard hit rate, which is awesome, 1.02 whip, gets a bunch of swinging strikes, gets a bunch of whiffs, and I do like Velasquez quite a bit actually. Just in like my model where I like start my stuff, he does grade out really, really well. So Velasquez for 7,300 is a guy I have a ton of interest in. Luke Weaver on the other side, I don't have interest in. He's 8,000. I'm just not a fan of his. Does not get the chases, does not get the swinging strikes. He's average strikeout rate. I mean, everyone just loves playing him. I'm on the other side. I don't really like playing him. He'll definitely get some ownership, so even more reason for me to get off of him and maybe onto some of these Phillies bats. If he's going to get ownership, then Carlos Santana is a good leverage bat. I also like Cesar Hernandez and Rhys Hoskins. So no Weaver for me, maybe a few Philadelphia bats to get some leverage. I'm really curious to see where ownership falls on this slate. Cubs, Braves. We've got Lester going up against Mike Soroka. Lester is a guy I rarely play. Like, I can't remember the last time I've actually played him, and I'm not going to do it here. Going up against the Braves, this is about as bad of a matchup as he could get, him specifically. He is a lefty, but we know he cannot hold runners. There's a ton of speed and power in this Braves lineup. One of my favorite stacks to play as of late. And they're going to run wild here against Lester if he lets anyone on. Acuna and Albies, Freddie Freeman, Markakis, Flowers. Like, I would go all the way down to Jose Bautista in the 8th spot if he's in there. I'd even go to Camargo. Camargo is probably going to be in the 8th spot, and then Bautista in the 7th spot. But I like all these guys. Inciarte stealing every time he gets on. Braves are probably my favorite stack of the night right now, and I'm only seeing a 4.4 run total. I think that's way too much respect for John Lester. This is an awful matchup for him, and I'm expecting the Braves to take advantage. Soroka has the strikeout stuff. It's there. He's getting chases. He's getting whiffs, but I don't know if this is the spot I want to use him. The price is right for him, 6,700 on DraftKings. This Cubs lineup is solid, though. There are a few bats that I'm scared of, but Soroka is going to be in the mix for some guys that I'm at least going to consider, and I'm not crazy about bats against him. Rangers, White Sox. We've got Cole Hamels going up against James Shields. Hamels is the highest priced pitcher on the slate. I thought he was done before the season started, and he's making me look pretty stupid here. He's done a good job this year, striking guys out and just pitching pretty well, and I wasn't expecting that from him at all. He's going to be somewhat owned, I think, here in a perceived good matchup. He's the highest priced pitcher, of course, but he does give up a ton of hard contact, so I'm off of Hamels at least for right now. Going to do some more digging on him, but the White Sox bats are priced very nicely here, specifically 3, 4, 5, Abreu, Davidson, and Wellington Castillo. Shields on the other side is 5,000 on DraftKings, and I could see him pitching pretty well here, which is weird to say. He does miss some bats, and the Rangers wave and miss as much as anyone. There are, again, like with Soroka, there are definitely guys that I'm scared of. I don't want Shields to go against, but you've got that with basically every pitcher you go against that's not a complete stud. So for 5K for Shields, he's someone that I will definitely consider as well. I like all these cheap pitchers, it seems like. Well, at least I should say all the pitchers I like are cheap. I think the pricing is a little bit off on some of these guys. I don't want to fully stack against Shields at the very least with this Rangers lineup. So Gallo, of course, like always a candidate to hit a home run, especially off a righty like Shields that will give up the home runs. And then Nomar Mazara as well. Those are the other two guys. Those are the only two guys really I'm keying in for on the Rangers, at least right now. Not seeing a ton I like against Shields here. Tampa Bay and LA, we've got Chris Archer going up against Tyler Skaggs is what I have here. So I look at multiple sources for the starting pitchers, and right now officially the Angels don't have anybody listed, so I'm not going to talk about Skaggs that much. If it is Skaggs, he's going up against the Rays. I don't have the Rays as a very good matchup for lefties. Skaggs has been impressive, but I don't even know if he's starting, so more on the Angels starter tomorrow. Chris Archer for 6,900 on DK. That is, as the kids say, a nice price, but just not a matchup I want to attack. I think he's going to be popular because of the $6,900 price tag. He's a big name. He can strike a bunch of guys out, but the Angels are one of the worst matchups in the entire league for either hand for me. So I like Trout, Ohtani, Upton, Andrelton Simmons. All these guys can give him trouble here. And when Archer's not getting the strikeouts, balls are getting put in play, they're getting hit hard. And the Angels have the guys to make him pay for sure. So I'm more on Angels bats than Archer here. Detroit and Seattle. We've got Matt Boyd going up against Marco Gonzalez. Boyd just had a decent start against the Mariners. 6 innings, 6 Ks, 3 earned runs. That was in his last start, actually, and I'm not playing him here. The Mariners are one of the toughest teams to strike out. I'm not really convinced Boyd lasts very long. He will give up some hard hits to righties, and you just saw them a few days ago. Man, I said this last week, I think, but that's got to be an advantage to the hitters, just a sort of a mental advantage. You just saw a guy a few days ago, he had a decent start against you. You've got the fresh scouting report, you know kind of what he's going to do in certain counts, and so I like some of these Seattle righties, Segura, Haniger, Zunino, like Ryan Healy has been crushing. I'm definitely on some Seattle righties, and I like the stack against Boyd, so that's sort of where I'm at there. Marco Gonzalez versus the Tigers. I mean, I'm not on either side of that. That's just disgusting. I don't really want to play Gonzalez. I haven't really seen anything that I'm thrilled about with him. And then the Tigers bats, outside of Nick Castellanos, just a lot of below average hitters. I mean, you could make a case for a John Hicks or a James McCann on DK, but wow, this is not a team that I'm looking to play bats from. Last game of the night, Colorado and San Francisco. We've got Chad Bettis going up against Jeff Samardzija. I'm going to get Bettis out of the way here. I don't have any interest in him. He's just a whatever pitcher for me. It's a bad hitter's park. The Giants do have a decent run total, so I could see getting to Belt or Buster Posey or McCutchen, but this isn't really a game that I want bats from at all. So more likely to just cross this one off outside of Jeff Samardzija. He's going to get a lot of ownership. I'm pretty confident in that. It's just an awesome matchup against the Rockies. They go from one of the best hitters parks in the MLB, or the best hitters park, Coors Field, to probably the worst in the entire MLB in AT&T. So Samardzija has not been good his last couple starts, allowing 5 earned runs in each of them, but it's hard for me to ignore at 7,000. I like all these guys in this price range, it seems like. Man, I like targeting the Rockies a ton outside of Coors. So Samardzija's going to be a guy that I want to monitor his ownership. You can do that with our premium product. We've got ownership projections to plug that once again. Man, so Samardzija certainly one of the guys that's in play for me, at least. And then not really looking at Colorado bats. If he's going to be major chalk, then okay. I mean, Blackman or Arenado against Samardzija is fine, but I don't think he's going to be like 50% chalk where you're going to have to start taking leverage bats against him. So that's going to do it for the 9-game slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this and got your research started for Thursday. Get to osmo.com. Check out the live stream tomorrow before lock. Check out the MLB strategy video. We'll have it out pretty early. And enjoy the slate. Hope you're making money, and hope you make some more on this slate.